This little idea is designed to help you if you have trouble with keeping a class quiet or attentive while walking in the hallways. It can be a very challenging situation, especially when you may have other classes or other sound sources around that may not be quiet. It's hard to reinforce this type of behavior. One way around that is to engage students in a task that has potential for reinforcement, but also keeps them actively doing something so that they can't divert their attention away to socialize with others. So this is called the attentive walk. Now, the idea behind the attentive walk is that you let students know ahead of time that you will be doing something regarding walking in the hallway. And when you line them up, you may tell them that we're going to have an attentive walk. And what that means is that they are responsible for counting the number of steps that the teacher takes to and or from a given location. For example, if you're going to special or lunch, they may count your footsteps simply to that location. If you have older students, you may want to have them count them to and back. And you tell the students this, so they must watch your feet. They're watching your feet to see if you make a certain number of steps. Now, of course, you need to keep in mind a few things when you do this. First of all, safety. You wouldn't want to do this near stairs or when there's going to be things in their way. And you may want to take frequent pauses in this process to kind of get them to collect themselves, refocus their attention, and then walk again. This makes sure that students count the steps. Now, at the end of the walk process, they have to give you the number of steps the teacher took. And of course, the closest student or the first couple closest students might get a reinforcer based on the accuracy of their answer. So you may want to pause, like I said, multiple ways through and have students actually write down the number of steps, or if they have great memory, maybe just write it down at the end on a sticky note or a notepad. But the idea is that whatever number they write down, it should be the one that matches the number of steps closest that you took. Now, what's great about this too is most often they are not able to get the exact count. So you could also tailor this reinforcer to give it to students who tried really hard. Maybe didn't get the exact or closest answer, but you want to reinforce their change in their demeanor in the hallway. Then you could simply say that student had the closest number. Again, it's really kind of up to you how you want to be truthful or not in this situation. It also gives you an idea too, because whatever they write down may or may not be very accurate. You also know that their attention is all over the place when they're supposed to be in the hallway watching what you're doing. So just keep safety in mind when you do this. It works really well for short walks, longer walks across along larger distances. Obviously, create more of a cognitive and a safety problem, so you don't always want to do that. Anytime you're changing a level of the building, first, second floor, for example, you're not going to want to do this either. Or when you feel to be a high amount of traffic, students should be paying more attention to where they're going. A one way around this too simply is to create a single line as opposed to like a boy line and a girl line. That way that the worst that can happen is they bump into the person in front of them, which would be more of a check than anything else and anything injury wise. So the attentive walk is really nice, and it's great to even say, I don't know when I'm going to be reinforcing for the attentive walk. So you should always watch and have a number in your mind ready to go, because I might say, this is it. That's the attentive walk. So if you want to be really tricky, you can call it even after the walk and say, that was an attentive walk. Who got the number? Students always be on the lookout, and it's nearly impossible to socialize or do something distracting when you're trying to engage in watching the teacher's footsteps. So it's a little bit of an idea, something to try out once in a while, kind of spark some motivation in the hallway, and then maybe you notice that the kids might get compliments in the hallway from others that would be further intrinsically motivating to them rather than any reinforcer you can give too. So that can take the place as you start to fade this type of support out.